Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne is a game that's not going to hold your hand. It's a game that is very much trial by fire, especially if you go at it blind. I finished the PS2 version not too long ago and I had some mixed reactions about it. I thought it was one of the most annoying RPGs I ever played, also one of the most ingenious RPGs I have ever played. So after playing the PS2 version and then coming here and playing the HD remaster on PC for quite some time, I feel I can tell you a good amount about Nocturne. But I'll tell you this right off the bat. In my opinion, do not play this game on hard for your first playthrough. It's not worth the headache and it's not worth your time. I'm pretty sure hard is more designed to be played on a new game plus run. Enemies hit harder, random encounters I feel are more frequent. It's almost impossible to run from battles. Buying items and summoning demons from the compendium costs not double but triple, and the game gives you very little money from battles by default. And if a demon of yours gets confused, they throw away triple the amount of your precious money. And there are probably other things that would make even tougher on hard mode. As I said, in my opinion, it's just not worth it unless you're looking to brag. But before I go even further on my personal thoughts about this game overall, let's talk about the job of this HD remaster. In my opinion, this is a bare bones remaster. Not much has changed or been added from the original release, and that's for the good and bad. Good that it kept the original creation intact, but bad considering this is an over 10-year-old game being played on modern platforms and there are no modern conveniences. Which you can argue that would take away from the original vision, but for some things there just is no excuse. HD remasters that come out nowadays typically have a fast forward or speed up option. Nocturne has no such thing. Also, there's no way to skip cutscenes in Nocturne. You're going to die in this game a lot, so it would be nice if you could skip cutscenes before a boss battle. Luckily, the cutscenes before boss battles aren't really that long, so it's not too much of a big deal, but definitely something you're going to notice after the second or third time. And choosing demon skills to inherit had to come via an update. Don't get me wrong, it's here day one, but when it dropped in Japan, it was still random and had to be added. Just kind of tells you the level of quality that went into this remaster. The game is locked at 30 FPS, and that would be fine to me if I was playing on a console, and even then it's still pretty bad, but it's also locked on PC. Now the reason for this I've heard is because if they unlock the frame rate, all it will really do is speed up the game, and if they wanted to do true 60 FPS, they would have to damn near reconstruct the game from the ground up. And to that I say, I feel, in my opinion, it's cutting corners on the side of the developers. In my opinion, they really wanted to get this remaster out as fast as they could. And some of you might be saying, oh, you don't need a turn-based RPG running at above 30 FPS, or frame rate doesn't matter if it's not terrible. And I would agree to that, but it still looks better when a game is running at a higher frame rate, turn-based or not. Yes, it doesn't affect gameplay, but I still like to see my games running at above 30 FPS when I'm playing on PC. It's a personal gripe of mine, but hey, that's just the way I feel. If that doesn't matter to you, then go about your day. Now, this HD remaster did add some features like a merciful difficulty that's pretty much a very easy mode. To me, for Nocturne, it goes merciful mode is very easy, normal is easy, and hard mode is very hard. Yes, I said that correctly. We got a suspend mode that you can create a temporary save file anywhere, and after you use it, it will take you back to the title screen and you can pick up right where you left off, but it deletes the save, so it's not really a full functional save anywhere type of option. It's more of a way if you have to go and do something else or play another game, you can quickly save and turn off the game and come back at the same spot at your leisure. You also have the newly added voice acting, which is just a godsend to me. The English voice acting is done right and has a lot of thought and feeling put behind it, makes the story stand out more in such a good way. Kudos to the English voice actors for doing such an awesome job. This game also gives you the option to switch between Japanese voice acting, so for you purists out there, you don't really need to worry about that. You also have the option in this remaster to switch the difficulty on the fly. If you feel hard mode is just too much, you can switch right to normal mode, or you can go to merciful. They also gave us the original version of the game that comes with the character Raiho Kuanoa and Dante from Devil May Cry as paid DLC when he came with the original PS2 version in the States. What the hell, Atlas? Okay, you know what, Atlas, you got it. Nocturne takes place in the Vortex world, which is pretty much a world that is somewhat reminiscent of the old modern world and the creation of a new one. It's a race to see which of the main characters can summon their own god to create a world they feel is ideal. These characters aren't going to break the bank, so to speak, when it comes to how memorable they are. They're pretty much one note and rather forgettable. Their reasons for doing what they do works, and it's nice to see, but no one here is winning rewards for best RPG characters. Hell, they're nowhere near the nominations for that. There are are a lot of choices in this game that will help shape the game's multiple endings, so there is some replayability in that aspect. Nocturne's battle system is classic SMT. You rely on hitting enemy weaknesses to gain extra damage and more turns, and if you don't pay attention to this and hit the enemy with a type of attack that reflects or absorbs your attack, you're going to lose turns, or if you flat out miss, you'll lose an additional turn. This is by no means one-sided, as your enemies can take advantage of you and your party's weaknesses and will lose turns just the same way. It's an even playing field in that regard, but battles aren't really that simple. Nocturne throws a lot of randomness, or chaos rather. The Kagosuchi you see at the top corner of the screen controls a lot. At its brightest, enemies are more aggressive, hit a little bit harder, and have a chance of attacking you first in an encounter. And if this happens and enemies target your main character and kill him, it's game over. This has happened to me too many times to count running around in dungeons. I don't know, maybe I just have terrible luck. The random encounter rate is also influenced by the Kagosuchi, so the brighter it is, the more encounters you will run into, and not to mention your chances of escape is lowered. But really, that doesn't matter at all. The encounter rate in this game is so freaking high, I swear there are times where I would be done with the battle, and just a few little steps later, the game will put me into another encounter. Didn't matter at all the phrases of Kagosuchi, and there is a skill and an item that lowers the encounter rate, but I swear, unless you are levels upon levels higher than the enemies in the area, it does little to nothing. The random encounters wouldn't be so bad if enemies in this game weren't annoying. These enemy parties are not really designed to get folded by you easily, but are more designed to hinder your progress, hit you with confusion, charm, stun, mute, just kamikaze you, etc., or just flat out insta-kill you with an instant death skill. If an enemy in battle caused a status ailment or killed one of your demons, it pretty much did it with exactly what it was designed to do. Yes, this does happen in other JRPGs, and yes, preparation is also key, but in Nocturne, I personally felt it was dialed up to 11. And again, this wouldn't be that bad, but dungeons in this game are designed to hinder your progress as well. You will run into invisible walls, floors that hurt you with every step, floors that drop you down to another area, and floors that will teleport you to another area entirely, all designed to confuse you or just start you back from square one. Add to it enemy parties that are more or less designed to cripple your party along with a high encounter rate. You got a combination for a game that is really going to test your patience. Also, the game isn't too keen on letting you know exactly where you should be next, so sometimes you'll be running around trying to figure out where you need to be to progress the story. Talking to some NPCs does help, but sometimes I felt it really didn't. As I said, preparation is key, but this is coming from someone that played the game on hard, so if you go on normal, everything I mentioned probably isn't that bad. Probably. Boss battles will put you through the ringer and test your preparedness, endurance, and pretty much luck. I found that most boss battles in this game do have a set pattern, but it really isn't set in stone, and bosses will hit hard and fast without any shred of mercy. Some will give themselves multiple turns and just try to one-shot you. Buffs and debuffs are the name of the game in Nocturne. You'll want demons that not only target weaknesses, but also buff and debuff on command. Buffs like increasing your defense and evasion are absolutely necessary, and debuffing enemy attack and defense will make your life easier. As I said, Nocturne is trial by fire, so this game kind of teaches you that early, I feel, with the infamous Matador boss fight in the beginning. You can play this game without buffs and debuffs, sure, but you are gonna have a miserable time. One of Nocturne's biggest strengths is its music, and it's also its biggest curse if you ask me. The music in most dungeons is some of the most boring music I have ever listened to in a JRPG. I remember one time I was streaming the PS2 version of the game and I just had to mute the game and listen to another game's soundtrack. Interestingly enough, I do feel the dungeon music fits the atmosphere of the game. I sometimes feel like it's like a horror RPG that I'm playing, but it just doesn't help it from feeling any less boring to me. Now, the battles and boss battle themes are an entirely different case. These themes are some of the best I've heard in an RPG. The regular boss battle themes, the Fiend boss battle themes, Beelzebub's boss battle themes, and the true ending boss battle theme are just magnificent. Being hype, energetic, powerful, and just with a hint of dread. These themes nail the mark entirely, and I find myself listening to them when I'm not playing the game. When it comes down to it, I do think Nocturne is a good game if you know what to expect. If you go into this blind, you're probably not going to have a good time, and I really don't recommend playing on hard from the start. Nocturne's chaotic nature helps it being too by the numbers. In most RPGs, if you are higher level than your enemies, there's a good chance you could breeze right past them, but Nocturne doesn't play play by the traditional set of RPG rules like most Shin Megami Tensei games, so you can't get a game over out of nowhere if you are ambushed or if the enemy just gets to attack you first. Doesn't matter how fast you are or how many levels above the enemies you are, no matter how good your agility stat is, enemies will sometimes attack first and just ruin your day. I like Nocturne for what it is, a tough, don't take no crap from nobody type of game. The quality of this port is a bit questionable with stuff that I mentioned earlier, and I played the game on PC and I did get some random freezes here and there, but nothing too bad. If you're looking for a challenging game and one that is really going to test your patience, you need not look any further. But really, I want to see some of you suffer. Play this game on hard and blind like I did. I dare you. As always, be sure to buff that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Join Notification Brigade so you can know when I'm uploading a video or if I'm going live. That's it for now. I'll catch you all very soon in the next video. Peace.